Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Hope you're all doing well. Mark, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. And hello to Avenger. Greetings to Holland. Or the Netherlands, I should say. Dr. Fred, hello to you as well. Ghost, hi. Luke, hey. MAN, hello. Wie geht's dir? Are you flying along at MAN by any chance? So welcome again in the Microsoft 2024 sim, and also in the PMDG 777-200. Now, those of you who watched my last stream, which was a German live stream, flying also the PMDG from London Heathrow to Vienna, on that day I had some weird sound issues, which a lot of people are reporting from time to time here in Microsoft 2024. So I had terrible FPS and I had some sound cuts all the way to Vienna. And again, it's one of those days, if Microsoft 2024 has a bad day, then there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, no worries, man. I'll be here for another 40-45 minutes, I think, before we depart. So welcome to Houston, USA. And we're at Terminal Delta, Delta 7 to be exact. Nate, hello to you. Nice to see you. And Ghost is flying a freighter. Nice. GG's. Hayden, hello to you. Nice to see you. So the idea is to, to try and use Microsoft 2024. Now, if for any reason it doesn't work, then yeah, we're going to go into 2020 and then just do the flight there. But let's stay optimistic. Sorry, let's stay optimistic, and let's see if this works. Cool. So we just entered the flight deck. Technically, nothing to write home about. And let me just check the control setup though, because this is a new variant. Well, not variant, but this is a new livery. And I'm not sure if it automatically recognizes the correct presets. So let's have a look. That looks good. So we have the MFGs. Oh, I have to set my, just seeing that, hang on. My tiller. Give me a sec.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
There it is, Tiller. Luke!
60 months.
Oh my god.
That's 5 years if my math checks out.
Yes.
Or in other words, 4 years and 11 months longer than any of my houseplants survived Kappa.
Not just yours, Luke. Thank you so much, Luke. Yeah, 5 years. Good God. And that's worth a big round of applause. Luke, thank you so much for the long-term support. Love to have you here. And I hope you're doing well. Luke, what's your favorite flight sim at the moment? Are you flight simming? Always wondering what people are flying as their favorite. Right, that looks okay if you ask me. That looks as if everything's still... And there we go, yeah. Looking good. Happy with that. Also on YouTube, Meinzigartig, hello. Engineer and B101, who's fetching another cup of tea. Nice. Hey, Abud, good evening to you as well. Oh, Ghost, it all has to do with my wife going on holiday somewhere with with her friends, and it takes like 5 days, and I can ruin plans. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. Right, let's start the battery. I love the little humming noise in the background with the electronics. Right, there's no electric power just yet, no external power, so let me change that. Ground operations. Let's request the ground power. There it is. Why is it so... Okay, well... And let's listen up to the startup sounds. Now, while that's happening, guys, what I can do I can quickly give you a briefing. And so let me have a look here into my EFB. Let's request the data. And yes, I have filed my flight plan. And yes, I am already on VATSIM, but I'm not sure why I already have... come on. Oh, that viewpoint is killing me. That's why. That's why transponders on mode Charlie. TW simulations? No, not in real life. IRL, sometimes yes, but quite often some maintenance will be done. And then when the maintenance guys are on board, then the aircraft is partially powered up. All right, Ghost, I'll have a look in a second. So let me have a look quickly. So to give you a quick overview, Houston to Mexico City Airport, the old airport. We have cost index 86. We have 40 knot headwind component on average, 0 fuel weight 171.6, load 33 tons almost. So fairly full flight, and the flight time 1 hour 49. Alternate is Acapulco. The fuel required, trip fuel is about 11.5 tons. We have a bit of extra. Mexico is always good for a go around, and then it's a long round trip to get back to the airport. So 30 minutes, I think is a good value. But yes, I am. Although I have to say, officially, so if I show you my pilot's license, it says 787 777 as my rating. However, in order for me to fly the 777, I would still have to get a couple of more hours into the flight sim IRL and then do some line training as well. Right, there we go. So now we can slowly see the computers coming to life. It does take a while to power up. Just to give you another quick view on the... And that was it. That's it. That beeping sound, that kind of shows you that the electronic power-up, so the computer power-up has finished. So we have a SIGMET, we have some thunderstorms, although if I look at Sim Toolkit Pro, then I can see that there is thunderstorms. However, that is more to the east of us. So I wouldn't really want to be flying here, to be honest. New Orleans, and a bit west of New Orleans. That looks like quite a strong storm system. But for us, looks good. Free sailing. Nothing to really worry about there. And so those SIGMETs are actually thunderstorm related, but again, more to the east. Here we got 090 at 8. Easterly winds, and Mexico currently 8 miles, sky clear, 23 degrees, 02 the dew point, so very dry air mass. 3031 altimeter, remark, isolated cirrus, and it's hazy as well. Hey Mathis. Hey, hello Mathis. Mathis, it was nice to see you in Lelystad. And I did appreciate your speech on the yeah, it's Microsoft 2024 currently. So even though I have, I've been a bit late really to the party. I've avoided 2024 for good reason for quite some time. But today, yeah, we are actually using it. Right, so we've got Mexico. Yeah, forecast good, so nothing to worry about. The wind may shift a little bit from east to southwest, but we'll monitor that as we approach. Yeah, no worries, MAN. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean Mexico's about 5.5, if I remember that correctly, 5,500. And MW Racing, hello to you as well. Right, so. Acapulco as the alternate, 226, 6 miles, few 1500, broken 30,000, 30 degrees, hazy as well, and the forecast 5 miles. It's not brilliant, but it's stable. There isn't much change there in the forecast, so that should really worry us at all. Now let me have a look at the arrival quickly. The star is supposed to be the Enaga 3 Bravo. Interesting enough, that is though for the runway 23. So it looks like OFP is already, yeah, it already has 23 left as the arrival runway. We'll have a look, we'll see. So it's either this one or then the 3 Bravo. Let's have a look. Oh no, the 3 Alpha. So if it's 05, it's the 3 Alpha, and if it's the 23, so it's going to be 3 Bravo. So that's fine. Cool. It's Mark. Okay, so Mark, I will try to remember that. Okay, fine. So not Mark Melindley, but Mark MW Racing. Okay. Fantastic. Cool. Oh yeah, now I was going to have a look at the elevation. So the elevation is actually, you're right, it's how did I say 5,000? It's 7,292. So 7,300 feet high. Yeah, we'll talk about the specifics in the cruise flight. For departure, we have, let's have a look at what we have as a setup here. So we have wind 090, so we could go 9. We could go 8 right. I think that's what we'll do. We'll take 8 right. There's no ATC online right now, so we'll take 8 right for departure. And the SID is called the Rita 7. Rita 7 departure. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. I'll send you the routing. So if anyone wants to fly along. Hotel Alpha Alpha Bravo. Hey, where is that? Where is that? All runways, you see. So it says Rita 7 all runways. So initially it's going to be a heading, right? 600 feet. So 8 left, 8 right. It says heading 087, 600 feet, and then radar vectors to cross bottle at or below 5,000. So top altitude is, it says here, that's one of the things, it says 16,000, but initially obviously 5,000 or below for bottle. Yeah. So initially going to put 5,000 in here. Wonderful. Cool. Right, that sums up for the briefing package. Now let's get everything set up. So again, left, right, top, bottom. Emergency lights armed. We have window heat on. Hydraulic panel remains as is. Seatbelts on. Then we've got, actually we can do a fire test here. Fantastic. Auto start on. That panel is as it should be. Covered. Fuel panels remain off for now. Wing anti-ice, engine anti-ice, automatic nav light is on. Air condition. Oh, actually, let's put the IFE in the cabin utility already on. Trim air system is on. The gas fans are on. Recirculation fans on. Packs are on. Bleed systems on. That's fine. Excellent, excellent. Then we've got my AFIS panel. Flight directors go on. Auto thrust arm switch on. Rest looks good. Now we could already put in the heading for the runway 07. Okay, so it's 7. We're going to leave 5,000 there. I'll get to that later once we finish our final calculations. So let's have a look here for the route. Let's go position in it. We take the GPS position. Request the routing, sim brief. So we're going to set the payload according sim brief, set the fuel according sim brief, and then we'll select the routing. Hey, Gaby. How's it going, Gaby? Any news on your training? Anything new there to report? Yeah, Addis Ababa. Yeah. Oh, Addis Ababa, yeah. Ethiopia. Yep. I knew the general area, but I couldn't quite name the airport. I've not been to Addis before, so right. Let's load the routing here. Maximus says he found the PMDG handling way better than Indybuilt 350 with hand flying. Yeah. Now, for me, the biggest thing really, if you look at PMDG or in 777 and the Indybuilts in Microsoft 2024, for me, the 777 here is much more steady, much steadier. I had, knock on wood, 0 crashed desktops yet. So it's nice to see a nice and stable add-on. Hey Campbell, hello. Greetings to Halifax. My pleasure. How's the weather? As always, Campbell. Let me know. How is the weather? Cruise level is going to be 400. It's pretty high up today, but we're fairly light. So let's put 40,000 feet in here. And then also route data. Let's load the wind data. Whenever you do that, go to FMC.com and then go to the send uplink load as well. Always do that in tandem. Otherwise, you're going to forget one or the others. And then execute. Yeah. Ball is at 7,600 feet. Nice. Well, that's pretty high. Oh, no. Really, Gaby? Oh, no. Only sad news. LCJ the Big C. Stop new slots for what? Hang on, but honestly, looking at how aggressively they are marketing right now for jobs as a fighter pilot or pilots in the German Air Force, you would think that that they would desperately need new pilots, and that they would be training as quickly as possible. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's frustrating, isn't it? Man. Yeah, but then like how come they stop with new slots for the training? That's that's completely counterproductive, right? MAN, how's it going? How's your sim looking? Before we do anything else here. Yeah, with Microsoft, so honestly, this status, for me, I have a feeling it has to do with general performance with the Microsoft service. Right, so I have days where it's completely smooth. Right, and then there's days where for some reason the FPS like half. So let me have a quick look here at the display FPS. So if I show you, let's have a look at the yeah, hang on. So top right corner now, you see it says like 57, 58 FPS. That's because I'm limiting to 60. So I mean, now it's 50, 51. So for me, 2020 still runs much better with higher FPS compared to what I have here. And then suddenly from time to time, I get these sound cuts and so on. I honestly, but good news. I'm not sure if I told that on the English stream already. Good news. So I've seen the how would you say the work crews who are responsible for putting the fiber connection into the ground here in our village. So they are now in our village, laying down the internet fiber lines. So I'm really hoping that this year I should have fiber with a fast connection, and this would change everything for me, really. So, man, that would be so brilliant. That would be so nice. Keeping fingers crossed. Yeah, but Gaby, like, why don't they have like plan B, right? Why is there no other option available if they desperately need the pilots? Right, so we got Rita 7 transition Warren. I'm gonna execute that. I'll go back to routing. So we got Warren Bro direct to Mike Alpha Mike, Uniform Juliet 59, Tango Alpha Mike, Uniform Tango 100 in Naga, and then it's going to be in Naga arrival. Now, for now, I'm still going to go with the 5. Let me just check. Should be the 5 right landing, shouldn't it? Yeah, 5 right. So I'm going to go Mexico, ILS Zulu 5 right, the Inaga 3 Alpha, and then we are arriving via... So let's see. So Carbon Bell says Halifax plus 19 and cloud. Yeah, here it's like also 18, 19 degrees, but really nice. Sunny. Just been cycling today again. Man, it's just beautiful. Really love these times in springtime, and everything just gets so nice and green and colorful. Oh, and every year in May, so we have, Rapsfelder in Germany, right? Raps, it's just, Raps, right? But English, every year I'm wondering, do you really call that rape fields? That just sounds so weird to have. Not Jürgen, no. Yeah, like rapeseed. It's crazy. It sounds so weird. So, but anyways, the yellow of these rape fields. Yeah, I'm more I have a little bit of allergies with some of the trees, birches, for example. Hey, Ali. And yeah, so like canola. Yeah, canola then.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Captain Black Box infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
Hey, Captain Tolerance. Greetings. Thank you so much for subscribing. Captain Tolerance, are you streaming by any chance on Twitch? I'm not sure if I have seen your name on the list somewhere there, streaming. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. And if you are, I definitely want to give you a shout out. I don't stream anymore. Ah, okay. But yeah, so Captain Tolerance, thank you so much for your support. Thank you very much for that. Oh yeah, guys, I did. So I've been busy making 2 videos regarding the checklist use of the 777 electronic checklist. So the normal and the non-normal. I finished the normal. I'm about to finish the non-normal video, and I've made a 3rd video about my hardware setup because people keep asking when they see the pause screen. Now, I'll show the video during the cruise flight, but I want to make something clear. This is not about flexing on what amazing setup I have. It's just simply a video to explain the setup that I have, why I bought it specifically for my needs, and it's just my own personal need, right? It's not to brag, it's not to show off, right? So when I show the video, please don't get upset. But people are interested, and I think with all the hardware coming out, it is definitely a wild time, yeah. So this will be a nice video. I'll explain how I change all the different different stuff there. But again, we'll do that during the cruise flight. Ghost, not everyone, not everything, no. So oilseed rape, okay. That's how you call that in the UK. Okay, thanks for that. Cool. Yeah. I was going to have a look at the plan mode here for the arrival. So again, initially I am going to think about 5 right with that arrival. And it's a challenging approach. There's high terrain. There could be some, well, not weather today, but quite often you have thunderstorm cells around. So I've been to Mexico many times on the 747 IRL, and rarely has it been a very kind of relaxing approach. It's always been busy, tough communications, and if there's weather around, it just gets crazy sometimes. Oh really? Hey Gabriel, but that's good news then. I would take that. Yeah, I would definitely take that offer to do some air traffic control training, 100%. Nate, maybe that's not a bad idea actually. So we have a software channel, but I think right now, I think you're correct. We should maybe aim for a hardware panel as well. Yeah. Yeah, Captain Tolerance, and the thing is, so the reason why I opted for the rig that I have now is because of that interchangeability of all the hardware add-ons. They have mastered how to quickly exchange, thrust levers, joysticks, yokes, you name it. They've got literally all the components, and I'm terrible when it comes to building stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I'm normally useless, but with my sim setup, this is where I kind of get into a zone. I just love doing that. I just love, putting these things. And so the last edition that I got was the tiller, and so right. Hang on, let me just show you guys. So that's the tiller. And so it took me like 15 minutes to get this mounted on my rig here. So that was so cool as well, to have the option just to expand these things as I go along. Yeah, so as much as I admire those people that are building complete like cockpits, be it 737 or A320. The problem is though, for me, it would mean that I'm stuck with just one cockpit type, right? And I know my character. I know if it's just one aircraft that I can literally fly with it, I get bored. I just get bored with it after a while, and then you spend so much money. So unless you do things like maybe rent out the sim, so for money or something, like a little business, then that's fine, right? That's cool. But for that you need the space as well, right? You need a separate part of your house where you could let strangers in and so on. So yeah, that's a total completely different kind of mindset. Wow, 200K. Oh, blimey. Well, I mean, like in everything, really. I had a quick discussion with Mark, so one of my moderators, Lindley. If I should actually publish that video, because I'm like, I just don't want it to come across in the wrong way. And then people see it as flexing, which it's not. So but the easier thing then is if I publish that video and somebody asks about my hardware setup, I just post a link to the video and say, hey, if you're interested, here's the video, have a look, and then you see what kind of setup and why, and what I think the advantages are of that setup. But you know, we discussed that, and obviously every hobby you can take to extreme levels, i.e. spend extreme amounts of money, right? So, you know, hey Voyager, moin, wie geht's dir? So I think that's just the way it is, right? So let's do the calculations. I'm just doing the last piece of calculations here. So we do have our final figures. So we have 193.2. Landing weight estimated is about 182.2 as well. And we've got the takeoff CG 26, zero fuel 25, and landing 25. So everything's within the flight envelope. That's fine. And with that weight, we'll do the calculations here. 8 right, current weather, the weights. And so we get a flap 5 takeoff, N1, 33.3 with TO2 and selected 42. That's something I'm noticing. There's a lot of times I'm getting exactly these values. TO2 with selected 42. Yeah, Voyager, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Oh, and another quick announcement for those German-speaking people here in my community. I'm planning to do because we announced this some weeks back, a shared flight with Captain A320 this Friday. The exact time we'll announce, but we'll do a test connection tomorrow, and then if everything goes well, then we are going to plan a shared cockpit flight on Friday. No, it's going to be on Microsoft with the, what's it called? Your Controls, I think. Microsoft. Hey, Pearl, hello. Ding dong. So here in the 777, you don't have a call button. All right. But Mark, the thing is, I'm going to try to get him as a kind of revanche. I'm trying to get him to do an English shared cockpit flight with me on my channel sometime in the future. Yeah. So what you would do, so Purwall, to call, you would literally just either do door 1 left, because that's normally the purser station. Right, and usually what I have in here in the cabin interphone list, there's normally a prompt for the purser. All right, so that way, right, you would call them, and then that way you can get your coffee. Yeah, pleasure. Right, so yeah, I remember Nico's sim setup there in the US. Yeah, that was, I mean, but he rented his sim out as well, right? So let's do first the TO2 selected 42. TO2 selected 42, flaps 5, and the speeds 32, 35, 41, 35 VR. And anything else we need here? How about Houston? Not really, right? Let me just have a look at my airport infos. So Washington, not Washington, Houston. 8 right. NADP 2, 1600 for the engine out. Right, so enter those values as well. So page 2 on the takeoff reference page, we have that engine out 1500. Then we've got acceleration reductions. NADP 2 is correct. And for the RATNAV India Alpha Hotel, put that in manually. Anything else? So the engine out is just straight ahead, 087, 15 miles to hold. So what I'm going to put in here is Houston with 15 miles as a reminder, so we don't go beyond 15 miles in case of an engine failure. Cool. One thing I want to check as well, again, is the... Let's have a look here. Setup, aircraft, failures. Hang on. Options, simulation. Where? There we go. Service-based failures on. So that's nice. So who knows? Maybe one day we'll get a failure, random failure. Hey James, Moin. Doing well. How are you? Right. I think all that's missing now is a quick briefing regarding the taxi out, and then we're good to go. Right on time. So these would be low-vis taxi routes. Well, we don't really need that, do we? Okay, so for taxi out, pushback facing west. Then we'll taxi out let's have a look, November Juliet, and then I'm just so November. So these are November Alpha, November Romeo, etc. So how come I don't see the actual taxiway identifier on here? And just check the Navigraph on my iPad. Oh, okay, no, it says November Bravo. Okay, so this one is November Bravo, this taxiway, and that's November Alpha. I hate those kind of taxiway numerations. God, that can quickly lead to misunderstandings. November 8, November Alpha, and so November Bravo, November Alpha. All right, anyways, so that way probably going to take November Bravo. And then we'll take November Echo, hold short 8 right. No hotspots. Good. Happy with that. So let's get rid of that. Let's prepare for pushback. ATC. Oh yeah, and by the way, so we are on VATSIM. We did get an automatic ATC message. And that squawk says 7401. Yeah, CTAF. Thank you much, Giland. How are you doing? Yeah, exactly. CTAF, very important here. So 7401 on the squawk. And put that on already. So you have North Alpha at Houston. You also have South Alpha. Blimey. So you have North Alpha, North Bravo, and the other side you have, well, you have Romeo Alpha, Romeo Bravo. Interesting. 2535. Thank you. Let's have a look. Yeah, if we take that, it's 2535. All right. And why does that always pull back here? So 25. But that's always confusing, right? Because so if anybody else is flying on a different runway, they won't hear me, my transmissions. I mean, it's safe, isn't it? It just affects our runway. The integrated EFB, you mean, Clemens, you mean the standard Boeing EFB? I think that's always included. I've not seen any versions that, I mean, so our company has it installed, but we don't use the Boeing EFB. So we have our own EFBs actually here at the window. But that, did it say CTAF frequency? Hang on. Where did you see that as CTAF then? I just see the tower frequencies. It's on VATSIM radar. Okay. Ah, okay, hang on. Ah, so let's see. I guess not many people know that. So dot CTAF and then Houston. Perfect. All right, cool. See, I did learn something new. So it says there the CTAF frequency for Houston is 12535. Thanks. Cool. GG's. Appreciate that. So then let's close everything and then let's get going. So release the ground power, remove the chocks, then door management, close all, and then we'll arm all. We'll check the doors are all armed. Fantastic. Let's read the first checklist. Although, let me just do a quick reset before we go. Reset all the checklists. And then we'll start with the pre-flight checklist. Oxygen, 100%. Tested. Flight instruments. We have heading 178. Altimeter 2994, 110 feet. Checked. And that's the pre-flight checklist complete. So that was the final figures. Hey Lee, wie geht's dir? Guten Abend. El Navina, let's ask for hydraulic clearance. Cleared for hydraulics. And so 4.5 for the trim. No, actually, it is one of the things I always fall into, the trap here on a 777. So on the 787, the stabilizer is moved electrically. So it has electric motors for the stabilizer trim. Here is actually hydraulically. So well, let's do the before start items. Guys, remember the sequence for the hydraulic pumps? So we go right, electric auto, wait until the fault light goes out. Then we go electric C1, electric C2. Then we go over to left auto demand. And then we go C1, C2. And that is to prevent fluid transfer into the right system. Fuel pumps on. There's nothing in the center tank. So if it says here on the ICAS, fuel in center tank, that's when you switch on the center tank pumps. Otherwise, you don't. So fairly foolproof system. Beacons going on. We've got the TCAS on already. We checked that the doors are all in auto. So let's read the before start checklist. Flight deck door is closed and locked. MCP, we have V2 141, heading 087, altitude 5000. Takeoff speeds, V1 132, VR 135, V2 141. And we have 93.3%. CD pre-flight is completed. Trim, 4.5 units, 0 and 0. Taxi takeoff briefing completed, and that's the before start checklist complete. Let's motivate GSX for pushback. Hey, Ed Force 5, nice to see you. How are you doing? Yes, so the reason why you would normally need hydraulic clearance, we call it, is so you need somebody on the ground outside to make sure that the gear doors are clear, nose gear is clear, the flight control surface is all clear. So there's nothing that if you start pressurizing hydraulic system,
hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
That there is anything that could suddenly deflect and cause injury. Yeah, I love the livery as well.
It's in traffic, United 46.
Oh, look at this.
Gate Echo 7. Close to the right.
Departure check completed. Bypass
Thoughts on Indy 350? I mean, I haven't tried the 1.08 version yet. I will do that in the next couple of days for sure. Hopefully,
Houston traffic, United 1410 heavy.
Hopefully it will be more stable.
Downwind runway 08 right, gonna make straight and ILS 08 right.
Oh, he's gone 8 right. Okay.
Locking gear.
So I'm going to wait until the American has pulled away. So Bazak says, or Bozanak says, the 1.0 update is good. Plane has improved a lot. Okay, cool. So facing west on the apron, right? Yep.
Release parking brakes.
Ah. Okay. Well, actually, okay. Hopefully then MAN.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Hope it doesn't do a long pushback. Good. Engine start is approved, so we'll start the right engine. Get the engine display up. And let's listen to that here for the... So, Ed Force 5, you asked the EFB, am I assigned an EFB to you, or is just part of that? No, so I have a personal EFB, which has all the necessary documents that I need for my work. Let's start left engine. And then there's also a fixed EFB installed in the aircraft, which stays in the aircraft. So if we have like...
Houston traffic, United 1410 heavy, turning red base 08 right, Houston traffic.
So if we have like 3 pilots, then there's 5 EFBs in the cockpit. Eagle Airways, hello to you. I am enjoying X-Plane for sure, and the new weather injection. At least the cloud looks nice. So cloud layers look nice. Weather-wise, we'll see. We'll have to get some more experience regarding the wind gusts and so on.
Set parking brakes.
Brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
That's not bad. Not bad at all with the pushback. So,
cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
So HT's rolling back, looking good. Let's do the before taxi items with flaps 5. So APU is going off. The rest is pretty much done up here. Flaps coming 5. Do a recall check. TCAS off. Get the flight control page open. Let's do a flight control check.
Unlocking gear.
What's your favorite aircraft that you've flown IRL? The 747. So I really enjoyed the 737 as well. But truly, the absolute the aircraft that gave me goosebumps all the time is the 747.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
So just waiting for the ramp agents to clear the aircraft.
Houston traffic, United 1410 heavy, turning final 08 right. Houston traffic.
Okay. Oh, so he's 8 right. Interesting. Okay. So there is going. Just going to wait for the all clear signal, and then we'll go ahead with the checklist. No, I don't. Captain Tolerance, no, I don't. Because on the 787, we don't have that. So yeah, I know. I know you guys. There's a trick here in the 777. We don't have that in the 787. Let's do the before taxi checklist. So we've got before taxi, anti-ice off, recall checked, flight controls checked, ground equipment is clear, before taxi checklist complete. Houston traffic, Aeromexico 812 taxiing 8 right in Houston. Let's go. Got to remind myself that I have a tiller.
Houston traffic, Traffic 114 detection, runway 15 right via November Bravo.
Houston traffic, American.
Yeah, that's MAM. And also Ghost.
8 right via November Bravo.
Houston traffic, United 1410 heavy, 6 mile final 8 right. Houston traffic.
Alright, he's on the final there. Oh yeah, sorry guys, you're all the way back at the cargo ramp. Okay. It's not even a livery mismatch, no. It is actually a Transavia. He's doing a world flight or something.
And Houston traffic, United 46 heavy, taking off runway 9er, parting towards the east. Houston.
Does the Max 2024 feel like a new, better product? The only thing really I noticed is hand flying here in Microsoft 2024. It's hard to describe, but I would say it feels a little bit more natural. Kevin is ready. One thing I'm noticing is not just with the PMDG 777, it's with all the add-ons in
Microsoft
2024.
8 right, Houston traffic.
So as soon as the wind gets kind of above 20 knots and gusty, then it just affects the aircraft tremendously. Up and down drafts. It's so hard to control. Speed-wise, the speed just goes, crazy. So it's something I sometimes wonder how
United 46 heavy, split up runway 9.
the normal flight simmers, would cope with that. You broke a light pole. You're gonna pay for that, Ghost. You break it, you have to buy it. Exactly. Let's read the before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff, flaps. Oh, actually, that's before takeoff complete. Checklist complete. So, what aircraft is this? It's a 777. It looks like. Yep. United. Heavy, he said. It's missing this undercarriage, but that's typical flight sim here in Microsoft. There's no evidence. These days, Ghost, you should know that there's cameras everywhere. Nowadays, it doesn't matter where the accident happens. You will literally always have video proof, right? Not sure. I'm going 8 right, so I'm not sure where the Transavia is going. So I'm gonna go here. Yeah, Ali, and that's the thing. You see, with the wind gusts, it's just a visual simulation, really. So the best thing really is to just
Unit 1410 heavy clear of
not over control.
Parking via November Sierra Foxtrot Romeo Bravo Houston.
Yeah, just you know, exactly, not over control. Don't chase the speed or chase the altitude. You do have to do some corrections, yes, but just don't over control. Right, I need to do one more thing here. Hold on.
Houston traffic, Transavia 1 Tango taking off and laying up runway 15 right.
So let me just configure the video. Hey, Caleb. And Ollie B, hello to you. Ollie B, nice to see you. How are you doing? Houston traffic. Air Mexico 812 lining up departing 8 right in Houston.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box.
Ollie B, thank you much for the
Subscriber
20
experience.
months.
Could new subscribers please make your
quick
way to
lag
the
there.
first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be
Cabin.
served.
Houston traffic,
Thank you.
American 69,
Hello.
3 behind departing aircraft lining up runway 08.
You're fine, that's good to hear. Happy to hear that. So terrain, we have traffic on. Terrain. Alrighty, are we ready? Chrono on. And let's do this. Bit of forward pressure. 40%, stabilize the engines. And takeoff. Thrust set.
80 knots.
Checked.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate.
V2. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Thrust ref, enough speed. Blimey, that is climbing. Yeah, I may have put that option in. Yeah. Right, let's trim those down. So I can see one departing traffic to the south. Flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Houston traffic, American 69-3 departing runway 085.
So let's go heading select. Autopilot on. Flaps up. Wow, bright and sunny day near Houston. Speed, VNAV path. So I'm going to go direct to bottle. LNAV. So I'm going to stay 5,000 below until we pass bottle. And then we continue to climb according to the profile there. Tony, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the 777 if that's realistic regarding flight director showing more than 25 degrees or more than 20 degrees pitch up. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't go above the eyebrows, so the stick shaker pitch. Yeah, I know it. I know. Oh, on the takeoff roll, you mean? Yeah, I would have to check documents for that. So let's have a look. He's 7 miles ahead. And there's one also climbing but coming opposite. So for me, definitely, I mean, he's 4,500 above, so that's no factor. I'm going to stay at 5,000. That way I should be avoiding the traffic there. Oh, what's happening with the scenery loading? Blimey. Oh. You see, that's what I mean with Microsoft 2024. Sometimes the loading just happens so late. I know you can increase some of the settings. But then I'm always worried that it hits the FPS just too hard. Alright, so let's go and climb to cruise level actually. Let's go thrust rev VNAV speed. And let's go 400. Yeah, lots of oil refineries here. Question was, would you normally go vertical speed to the climb in the star? You mean the SID? So that you continuously climb through the profile instead of step climbing. You could. There's nothing wrong with doing that, Sapphire Wave. The important thing is that you don't bust restrictions. That's the only thing. TV Adventure, hello to you, good evening. You're doing a flight from Atlanta to Helsinki. Nice, have a good landing. Yeah, so flight director wise, I would have to check to see what the standard pitch indication would be after liftoff on the 777. It's bumpy. And look at that, Houston, also a huge city. So guys, that's downtown Houston, most likely. So that's Houston Hobby, Kilo Hotel Oscar uniform there. Complex tracks, hello to you. So now it's accelerating nicely. Let's read the after takeoff checklist before we forget. After takeoff checklist complete. I'm going to put fix, erase the fix, rat nav, we'll do delete. And the seatbelts, well, let's leave the seatbelts on for a few more minutes. I mean, it's an almost 2-hour flight, so there's no hurry. I'm really looking forward to the next update. So the next Microsoft 2024 update, because a lot of people are reporting, better visuals. So things not being so bright, better balanced. Now I've seen some videos as well where people have or are actually using DLSS for anti-aliasing. The only issue I have is, so when I start seeing blurry instruments, so anything that moves quickly gets blurry, that just puts me off. I don't know what it is, it just puts me off. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, good idea. 22.8. Oh, there's already the coastline. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm not getting crazy climb rates, so I've got like 2,500 now, steady en route climb. All right, let's set the altimeters. Standard is set. So, there we go. Oh, that was downtown Houston there. Let me already go through the star in Mexico later on. That way we are going to be better prepared. Although, let me quickly go to menu. No. Let's get arrival weather here. So Mexico right now still variable 3. So if I see that there's no ATC on VATSIM at Mexico, and the wind stays that way, I do plan to fly on the 5 right, because that's just the more interesting approach. The 2-3s are somewhat boring. Not terribly boring, but they are just somewhat more straightforward, straight in. So the approaches on 5 right. Just pin that approach. So the Zulu 5 right. Yeah, so via Ukten. So if you come on the star, so the Inaga 3 Alpha, that leads us to the initial approach fix Ukten, and then from there it's the transition to the ILS. And this is just so interesting because it's high terrain, high elevation, and so obviously your true airspeed and hence the ground speed is a lot higher compared to sea level. So you've got to be really careful with your energy management and just make sure that you have enough drag on the aircraft to meet these descent restrictions. So here, for example, Mike X-ray 901, mandatory 9,700, and then the next one, Mike X-ray 900, mandatory 8,900. It sounds a lot, doesn't it? But that's only like 1,600 feet above the ground. That's how low you actually are at the final descent point. So be aware that, let's say this portion here, just an example, right? This portion has 3.8 miles. And you have to lose about 800 feet of altitude, right? It's not 3 degrees, but maybe let's say 2.5 degrees. So again, with that high true airspeed, if you're still doing like 200 knots, that's it, right? You're not going to be able to get established in time to be stable at 1,000 feet height. So just make sure that you plan accordingly and you have flaps and maybe even gear out, turning final. Yeah, and at the end, you're right, Jalen, yeah, you're correct. At the end, it's a 3.1 degree profile as well. So it's a steeper profile with lots higher true airspeed and high ground speed. So, don't take your normal pitch and power values, right? It's going to take a bit more power, but also your descent rate is going to be a bit higher. Do you turn on the landing lights? No. So on these higher elevation airports, we tend to use 10,000 feet above the ground. All right. And here, actually, same as in the US. So in the US, we leave the landing lights on until we pass 18,000. All right, let's switch them off now, actually. The reason being is that in the US, you have VFR traffic until 18,000, if I'm not completely mistaken. So that way you just leave those lights on longer, and then when you descend, you switch them on at 18,000 feet as well. It depends on the AOI, really. Just read what it says in the AOI. Concerning the speeds. So Captain Tolerance, I have no idea about the VFR rules in the US anymore. That was a long time ago for me, so I don't know exactly what the maximum VFR is. It 14.5? So above, okay, so that's cool. So above 14,500 in the US, you actually have to be IFR. Okay, so that's a 3,500 separation buffer. Okay, cool. Yeah, but we, again, just for simplicity, we leave a fish cop. Wow.
Autopilot.
No, you passed your PPL. Hey, hang on. So fish cop, first of all, congratulations passing your PPL in the Piper Alpha 28. What a gorgeous aircraft. So radio navigation with VOR and communications in English in the CTL Bremen. Nice. And Hamburg. They were so easy thanks to your streams. Really? Awesome, teacher. Thank you, Schwarz. Hey, Fishcop. I'm honestly really, really, really chuffed that yeah, you post these nice nice words here. And of course, 20 euros as a donation. That's really generous as well. Thank you so much, Fishcop. And I'm truly happy for you. I can just imagine how excited you must feel right now. So hopefully with a nice drink, a nice cold drink, in celebration mood. But that's cool, Fishcop. Yeah. So for me, I'm still trying to get some time to get back into the PPL flying. Nice, GG's. And once again, thank you so much for the 20 euro donation. Schwarze Kiste. Lol, yeah. Mohammed. Oh, so Mohammed, good evening. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Man, I love hearing these stories from people either just passing PPL test or passing the entry test somewhere to get into the airline. It just brings back so many memories for me. And for me, it's been a long time ago, obviously, but I can still remember so vividly my first solo flight in a glider aircraft, my first solo in the US, in a Bonanza. My first 737 flight as a co-pilot. My first, and even the last flight to Nice before becoming captain. All these special moments, I can still remember those so vividly. Exactly, MN, yeah. So my first 737 flight was the visual into Ibiza, which I was completely unprepared for. So I was like, you know, completely kind of poised to getting the ILS approach. And then I remember the controller asking us, would you like a visual approach? And the trainer looked at me and says, hey, cool, you want a visual approach? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, so internally I was like, no, but I said, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I was so lost. Did you grease it? I don't think it was a greaser, no. Honestly, my first greasers, they happened, you know, with passengers aboard, they happened, I don't know, after about 10 landings maybe. But I mean, the first, not that they were really hard landings, but they weren't greasers. Franz, you stopped your PPL training right before the first solo. How come? What happened? Oh, nice, Max. You're starting training in August at the European Flight Academy. Man, Max, I wish you all the best for that. What an exciting time. Yeah, you must be really, really excited. Cool, Max. So, you know, you starting and me leaving in October, right? Each single minute as a pilot, Voyager. Oh, I know you put the kappa there, but I mean, it's obviously, it will be really hard to try to memorize every single moment in your career. I think I have memories, you know, some standout memories, certain situations, certain, you know, approaches and landings that were really exciting. But overall, yeah, I don't know. It's obviously hard to remember as everything, right? Yeah, Mohammed, my pleasure. And again, I wish you all the best and hope it works out. With the color vision rules on the EASA, I'm a bit minded docs considered. Okay, so like, I wish you all the best as well. Yeah, like I have no real background regarding these rules and regulations, especially when it comes to medical things. All right, let's go vertical speed. So he had too much stress at work and based at a big airport with many regulations and finding slots. Ah, okay. Yeah, Franz. So Franz, you think you got some, you have a chance again at some point to pick up the training and then finish the PPL training? Yeah. Hey, nice fish cup. Yeah, so you went for the approach 09 in Bremen, so just slightly north of Skanekasee, yeah. And you were allowed to use the glide slope of the ILS. You're so nervous, but yeah, man. But who isn't nervous at that moment, right? Honestly, fish cup. Even though I've flown to Bremen, IRL, in a 737 and 320 so many times, but I promised you, the first time I'm flying there in a Cessna 172, I'm going to be nervous again. It's just something new again, right? So yeah, sure. It's nothing, nothing unusual to be nervous. Yeah, but I mean, 52 France isn't old, right? I mean, I'm going to be 56 in October, and I still plan to go and do my PPL again. Yeah, but the thing is with the PPL, Franz, I think it's a good thing that you go through whole PPL stuff, so that you have a good background and a good basis to master everything in that regard, right? So, afterwards, a lot of things you're going to be able to, you're going to forget a lot of things afterwards again. And there's going to be some things that you're never going to come across again. But obviously, a lot of things are necessary and important, so... Right, we are at level 400. Econ speed, looking good. Let's sync up the heading buck, and then let's have a look. We have landing estimate at 1957, so 1 hour 30. All right, looking good. Yeah, Bremen Airport is nice. It's nice and simple. Very kind of, easy layout, and so, yeah. Yeah, the headwind is bad. I should have gone the other way, but Houston approaching there, I think for the approaches in Houston weren't that interesting. Yeah, so again, I wish you all the best for that. I hope it all gets sorted out and that you get a chance to train. Yeah, Franz, I mean, of course, that's something you have to be aware of prior to starting out with the PPL, right? It's expensive to get the PPL, and then of course you have to fly regularly. Stay proficient, all right? You have to see it for what it is, and that is, it's serious. You've got to be, seeing it as professionally as you can. So for now, you're sim instructing and spotting. That's also nice. Yeah. And Mohammed, you're currently giving your ACE level exams, second last year of high school, and you may start flight training after high school or university. Nice. Yeah, you got reason to be excited. Cool. Wishing you all the best for that. Yeah. Have a good one, Solek. Okay, guys. So, so those that just joined or weren't here at the beginning, so I'll show you a video now that I've made because many people have asked me about my hardware setup. Because whenever I show them that pause screen, they look at the bottom right picture there. They're like, "Hey, hang on, what's this? What's your setup like?" Right. So, I made a video to explain. It's not a long video. I think it's about 5 minutes long, but it gives you some idea of what I'm using. And at the end of the video, it shows all the hardware things that I have. And again, it's not there to flex or show off, right? It's just simply, for me, I am very dedicated when it comes to aviation. And flight simming has been with me for literally all of my career.
Thank you.
I'm not. Hey, flying Greenland.
Hello.
Oh my god.
Away in Denmark, going back to Nuke Friday.
Oh, nice.
So nice to see your stream.
So flying Greenland, thank you again for the absolute generous tier 3 and 49 months. So I do hope you have some nice weather. You should have nice weather in Denmark right now, if I'm not mistaken. High pressure area up north. And so Nuuk, how's Nuuk Airport then evolving with the longer runway? Must be nice. And then what's the weather like in Greenland right now? I've never landed at Karlsruhe. Actually, I've got. You know what? I've been to Karlsruhe, Baden, on a 737. If I'm not completely mistaken, I think we had we had some postal flights with the 737, so that was at night. And I'm pretty sure we went there I'm pretty sure that was Karlsruhe, yeah, because it was a really short flight out of Frankfurt. Cloudy in Aalborg, okay, it's 12 degrees. Okay, not quite summer then. Not quite summer. Oh, really? So Nuuk Airport has some problems. So 16 Atlantic flights have diverted or returned to Copenhagen without landing. Really? So what was... Well, I mean, that has to do like weather with wind and visibility or something, right? Oh, runway conditions. Okay. Yeah, France, definitely. Passenger would be very frustrated. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, okay. So Fish Cup. Okay, so that's nice. So Fish Cup is giving you some insights regarding costs. So here, Germany. He got the PPLA with the SAP single engine piston with the communication license, and that cost him 16,000 euros. It took 9 months. So next step would be the instrument rating. So you say you don't really want to use IRL, but yeah. So Fish Cup, that's the decision I'm standing in front of right now. Because obviously I have an IFR rating, and it's easy to keep that. So you have to do 1 check flight per year for the IR rating, but I don't mind that at all. And the reason why I do want to keep the IR rating is because exactly for that. Maybe sometime the weather is somewhat marginal regarding VFR conditions, and so obviously you would always want to avoid icing conditions. But I mean, to have the option to be able to fly, pick an IFR clearance and then still trying to get out of the airport or land somewhere. And what I didn't know, so the Cessnas that we have in the flight club, they are both IFR rated, and they're actually allowed to fly RNP approaches, so RNF approaches with LNAV minimums. So not LNAV VNAV minimum, but LNAV minimum, which is already quite interesting to have. So, yeah. Yeah, wow, I'm surprised they had that much fuel and didn't stop in Keflavik. I mean, for you know, operational reasons, I understand that it makes sense to go back to Copenhagen, but non-stop, wow. And Air Greenland spent 100 million Danish kroner last year due to diversions and cancellations. Wow, yeah, that hurts. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'll show you the videos, guys, and again, it's about my hobby regarding flight simming, and so the journey that I've been on for the last 9 years now with streaming and content creation, having met many people that are also very, very into flight simming, and it's a fantastic community, right? So, you know, the friendships that I've made, things that have been possible that would not have been possible otherwise, reaching people, you know, that have that passion for aviation, being able to virtually open the cockpit door, let them in, and yeah, explain things about my career and how we actually, you know, fly these aircraft. So, you know, see it as me being very enthusiastic about flight simming and content creation, flight sim content creation, and getting a setup which allows me to quickly change hardware peripherals. So that's really the whole idea behind my setup. So I'll show the video now. And here it is. Enjoy. Hello everyone. Welcome to a short video about my home simulator setup. I frequently get asked about this on my live streams and on my videos, and so I thought I might as well make a video about it and then fill you in on all the details. So let's start up by looking at the base first, and the base is made by a company called Monster Tech. And initially I started out with some table mounts for my joystick and my throttle add-ons. However, then I saw that they came up with something called the MTS cockpit, and that immediately caught my attention because I knew that way it would help me to quickly be able to change between different aircraft setups, and that way be able to get more immersed into these different aircraft add-ons. Now, it did take me some time to finally press that buy button because the whole setup is very expensive. That being said, though, the quality is fantastic. And to help with my immersion with all these different add-ons that I'm using, it offers some very unique solutions that allow you to quickly exchange hardware peripherals. Like in this case where I'm mounting the A320 joystick on the left-hand side of my seat. And they offer hardware solutions for all the well-known hardware component makers like Brunner, Winwing, Thrustmaster, Real Simulator, and so on. So let me give you a quick demonstration here. As you can already see, I'm in my A320 setup, although I can use this not only for the A320, but also, let's say, for the A350 or the A380. Next up, Boeing. Here's the Boeing 777. But yes, of course, you can use it for Boeing 737. And if you change the thrust levers for a 7.4 setup, even that would work. Now, for me, the most impressive setup that I have is the one for my F-18 cockpit setup with the Winwing Top Gun MIP panel. And even though DCS is not the most popular flight sim platform, I enjoy this tremendously. And the hardware market right now for flight simming is absolutely booming. The amount of new peripherals we're getting week by week is incredible. And that with the force feedback joysticks and yokes, it's a dream come true. I'll show you two more setups that I use. For example, the F-16 setup. It also uses that Winwing Top Gun MIP panel, which incredibly also works with the Apache add-on. And here for flying helicopters, I do have a hardware collective, and this one is from Whirlpool. And again, easily installable by these quick change mounts. So this hopefully has given you some insights into how I use my flight sims, how I do my content creation with the live streams and videos, which has been going on for 9 years now. And so I have to say this would not have been possible without the fantastic support of my dear community. And I can say with 100% certainty, if it weren't for that support, this hardware setup would not exist for me. And so for the future, I'm looking forward to many more interesting aircraft add-ons coming out, and even better, some fantastic new hardware setups coming. And so we could definitely say this is the golden age of flight simming, and I'm looking forward to many more flight sim adventures in the future. Now, before I forget, here is a complete list, at least I think it's complete, of all the hardware add-ons that I own and regularly use. So until my next live stream or the next video, once again, thank you so much everyone for your support, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Happy landings. Thank you, Mark. Yeah. So, oh, did I put in the rudder pedals? Oh, you're right. You're right. I have to. Yeah, good point. I have to put that in as well. So the rudder pedals are still the version 2 of the MFG crosswinds. Yeah. Exactly, MFG crosswinds. Yeah. No tray table in the Airbus configuration. You're right. That had to move because of the FCU. Yeah, the Airbus throttle, so it's a Bravo honeycomb throttles, and the setup on top of that is a Flight Sim Factory thrust lever set, the version 3. So yeah, and yeah, I thought the POV filming there, or the videos, I thought, yeah, it gives you the best kind of impression of what I'm seeing when I'm flight simming, right? And so again, it's about the, the way that I can quickly set up different hardware peripherals for, for my streaming or content creation, and that way, yeah, it's just very, very, very good and ergonomical as well. Careful about publishing it on YouTube. Yeah, I have to be careful with that, no doubt, no doubt. Hey, Organ, how you doing? I have to actually plan the second flight. I haven't done that yet. Hey, Airbus 05. Yeah, again, I think it's normal, it's natural for people to be interested to see different kind of hardware setups. So I'm also interested in seeing, people set up here in the community. So whenever somebody posts a picture or video about their home setup, I'm always interested to see how they are, using the flight sims and what peripherals they have. Yeah. And I mean, the good thing is that the prices of these hardware peripherals are coming down, which is great. No, there's no way that I can get a bigger room or anything. So, I mean, this was only possible because my daughters moved out of the house. So, obviously, this is one of the older children rooms that I've taken over now as my, let's call it, office, right? So, yeah, Nate, exactly, right? So, if you're really passionate and you can find the funds to, yeah, Voyager, as if, right? I know you guys. Gillette, lol. So I'm going to do the calculation. So we're going Chicago O'Hare to Newark on the second flight. 320 Neo. And oh, I don't know. Do we have LEAP or Pratt and Whitney's? I don't know. We'll go with the LEAPs initially. I can always change that, but it's about the flight time, isn't it? So let's take 15 minutes extra. So the flight time. Okay, so Oregon, I'll give you the numbers in a minute. So the flight time is 1 hour 30 from Chicago to Newark, and I am planning to land in 45 minutes from now in Mexico. So I would say with changing the cockpit here to 320, another 15 minutes. So I expect to depart about 8, or start the stream at 8:15 UTC. No worries, Ghost. All good. Thanks for flying along on this flight. I appreciate that. All right, let's do a fuel check here at Bro. So, let's have a look here. We've got the OFP. Well, I'm happy that today I don't have any sound issues like on the last stream. And that was really annoying. There we go. So 45 minutes after departure. Look at that. 44, 45. That's good on time. And we've got extra fuel of 2.5, 2.6. No, yeah, 2.6 extra.
Ladies and gentlemen,
hey Nate, thank you very much.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
Nate, thank you much, gifting us up to Ghost. That's really kind, Nate. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So, bro, 11.1 plus 2.5, so 13.6. Yeah, that's something I find. So the profile that I'm using on SimBrief, it adds, I think it was like 2% of fuel. I think you can actually, you don't have to add any extra fuel on the fuel flows. So you can just simply take the standard 777 profile. That's fine. At least that's from my my experience. Right, look at this. This looks nice. Nice coastline. Let me just check. Where are we? We are just overhead Matamoros. So already in Mexico. Just past Brownsville, now in Mexico. Yeah, exactly, Ghost. Yeah, that's what I have. Yeah, Jalen, that's the thing, right? So I would do the same. I don't think you have to add the I think it has 2% for me. Let me just check my flight plans. So, yeah, here. So it's, for me, it's 2% more. But that's still, you know, more than required, really. B101, doing flight sim, farm sims, and Star Citizen. Just use right and left vertical sticks, with the left stick being the throttle digger. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? So everyone has to decide, what kind of sims they're using. Just doesn't always have to be flight simming, right? It can be something else as well, like Star Citizen. And then, of course, you'll be looking for some different peripherals, right? The important thing is that you get peripherals which are, usable for different sims, right? The more, the better. One thing I'm wondering is that so something I think or feel that has a huge increase in popularity is the racing sims. And especially there, the 6 is it what's called DOV or so the setup where you have like on hydraulic stilts, you have like a platform which is movable, 6 DOD, right? So 6 levels of movement really. So that seems to be really popular, and then they have like 100-degree field of view with the monitors, yeah, like full motion, right? Or actuators, sorry, yeah, like hydraulic actuators, yeah, I think so, man. Yeah. But then I heard they have like the speakers on full blast. Because I'm wondering how much sound or how much noise these hydraulic actuators actually make. Because normally they would be quite loud. And then the thing is that, you need to have a really solid floor, right? To actually have that installed. Which I don't. Up here, we don't have... So it's actually a wooden floor. So we don't have typical German concrete ceilings. So I actually live in a kind of wooden house. Yeah, somebody, Megas, one of my moderators, he tried to get me into racing as well. But honestly, I've never been into cars. It's weird, isn't it? I'm a complete kind of aircraft nerd. I love all kinds of aircraft, gliders, single-engine piston, multi-piston, small jets, big jets, you name it. But cars, never been into racing, and never been into. I mean, I like the looks of some cars. And Formula 1, I used to watch Formula 1, but at some point I don't know, I just got bored of it, and then I stopped. I'm not surprised that Verstappen is a passionate sim racer. I mean, that's his. Just like me being a professional pilot, I'm into, I'm a passionate flight simmer. So why shouldn't a professional race driver be passionate about sim racing, right? Yeah, Mad Cat. What's my favorite plane from Airbus and what's the favorite from Boeing? Okay, so Boeing 747. Even though I'm very fond of the 787, 747 is still the queen. It's still my absolute favorite. Absolutely. And Airbus, from the looks of things, I think the A350 is so I've never flown the A350 IRL, but I think if you let me choose one, I wouldn't use the A380. I would actually choose the A350. See what it's like to fly. Oh yeah, so if those actuators are actually electric, then I wonder, you know, how much electricity those things take. Yeah, the A350 has a nice layout. So the way it presents the information and the features the A350 has. Yep, absolutely. Right, top drop is coming in. Half an hour. Okay. But I tell you what, let's get some weather, shall we? Let's call up the com menu. Flight information. Well, let me try PMDG. Let's see what happens there. Let's see what we get back. Hey Peter, guten Abend. Wie geht's dir? And NMFly, hello Robin. Yeah, the 757 there. That would be interesting. Oh really, the VSD and the A350? Oh, sorry, the Flabber Y A380. Ah. Okay, so they have... Yeah, but Ghost, one of the big issues I still have with the A380 is performance. Has that improved by any means? Yeah, the A220, yeah, a lot of people are putting a lot of hope into that. Yeah, doing well, Peter. Dankeschön. Okay, you get 25 episodes, can't say. Okay, yeah. And Gaby, you would have tried the A400 if it weren't for the fighters, yeah. Yeah, sure, that's also an interesting aircraft, right? So Clayton says, and he noticed that in the Microsoft 2024, the A380 has much better frames, FPS, compared to 2020. Okay, I guess I have to give that a shot again. Try that again. You gotta love how the coastline looks here. Really nice. Fascinating. So the dev version has some performance improvements, but they're still working on it. Okay. I guess I have to try it again. In what way, Yosmi? You mean FPS? I think the FPS, honestly, I don't have any issues with FPS here, while with the A350 as an example, I do have more issues. But I haven't tried the latest version yet, so that remark may already be out of date. So okay, Clayton, yeah, thanks. Hey Dan, would 777 be able to take off after boarded takeoff just? You mean the brakes, right? I mean, honestly, you would have to, yeah, just check your brake temperatures and so on. But, I mean, depends on the aircraft weight. But in general, if you do a high-speed RTO, then yes, you would definitely have to probably wait. And maybe even do a maintenance check. It all depends on where you abort to take off. And how hot the brakes get. Yeah, but the Inibuilds A350, I think a lot of people were disappointed because they didn't expect it to have that many issues for such a long time. So yeah, not sure what's going on there and why they're still having these issues. But that's just the way it is. Right, we've got, let me check this with the latest METAR. So that's from 1822. That's a bit old. 8 miles. 050 at 5. So that's definitely still 5. 5 right for approach. That's good. 8 miles. So that's pretty much the same weather as this one here, right? 25,000. 3026. So isolated cumulonimbus and hazy still. Okay, cool. All right, so 3026. Let me put that in here. Lawrence, so if you don't already own the PMDG, so if you look at all the add-ons available on the market and what the add-on offers in terms of fidelity, system depth, and I'm not talking about things like whether or not certain things are scripted or actually simulated system-wise. It's just the amount of things you have, and the way that I know the aircraft and the way I use the aircraft. I think this add-on per se is worth it $77, yes. Now, if you already own the 777-300 and you know that the 777-300 is coming to Microsoft 2024 either for free or a small upgrade price, I'm not sure exactly what they were saying, but of course not full price. So you're gonna get your hands on the 777-300 either, if you already owned it for 2020 as a free upgrade. So for free, people saying for free. Okay, so assuming it's a free upgrade, right? You may have to wait another couple of months, but then you already have a free upgrade option there. I think then you can argue, maybe to wait. So what is great is the fact that they are improving sounds. I expect engine sounds will be improved soon. And for me, one of the big things is FPS performance, which is good here, and also then stability. So what I don't want to have, I don't want to continuously face issues with crash to desktop, especially if it's a long-range aircraft. So you do want to have assurance that you can finish a 10-hour flight and not having to worry about crash to desktop at some point, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to comment on politics regarding PMDG and pricing. I mean, other companies have their own, pricing methods. It's just the way it is. They know how much work they put into it, and it's a business, right? They know the demand, and so. These companies, it doesn't matter what aircraft add-on makers we're talking about. So all those that do bring out some high quality add-ons, it's I want them to make some profit, right? I want them to be profitable so that they have money to spend on new add-ons and develop new add-ons, right? The business is expensive, so when you make a new add-on and you make it high fidelity, it costs a lot of money. So. They do their pricing, and we as a customer, we have to accept that, and then you as a customer, you have the option to say yes or no. At what point do you extend the flaps? Not really. I mean, it is variable. It depends on many factors. For example, usually when you look at your arrival charts, you may have some speed restrictions, right? So today, for example, So looking at the arrival, you have certain altitudes you have to be at, right? And then you have certain speeds. So in the heavy aircraft, that kind of limitation, 210 knots, means you're going to have to put some flaps out, right? So that's already obviously influencing your decision when to put the flaps out, right? So otherwise, you have to just manage your energy level and just make sure that you reach certain points in an energy state that allows you to then slow down and you know, if anything, go backwards. So a good rule of thumb is landing gear about 2,000 feet above the ground, assuming that you've already had the chance to reduce the speed according to the flaps profile. So let's say you got flaps 5, maybe flaps 15, gear down 2,000 feet above the ground, which would put the aircraft round about maybe 6-7 miles from the field. All right, and then just go flaps 20, and then 25 or 30 final setting. So then if you know at 2,000 feet, or let's say 7 miles from the field, you're going to put the gear down. So then maybe 12 miles from the field, you start with getting flaps out. But that also depends on how much altitude you still have to lose. All right, so it's always a bit of a problem when you have to meet certain altitude restrictions, but also you have to slow down the aircraft. Right. So hey, hello, shalom. So again, you know, there's no strict answer when you start extending flaps. It's all about managing energy. Yeah, Captain Tolerance, also a good point, right? So you have to look at how an aircraft add-on maker treats the aircraft after release. How often there's updates, you know, updates being free, etc., etc. So yeah, there's a lot of things that go into that, no doubt. Yeah, Proval, all good. Pleasure. It's the same discussion with the hardware peripherals, right? So, you know, as an example, if you start getting into the more high fidelity flight sticks, let's say Mosa. Hey, Lilienthal, nice to see you. The Mosa flight stick force feedback with, let's say you have the base, which costs what, around 450 euros, and then you have the stick on top of that, another 300 euros. It all depends on how much you're going to use that stick, right? How many hours you spend with it, and assuming that the stick is good quality and lasts for 10 years or something, then you know, while initially you may think it's a very expensive hardware add-on, in the end, the amount of hours you're using it, you know, it may just kind of make that more balanced, right? That approach. Yeah, I think, you know, Gaby, maybe that's a good point. I think a lot of people are always scrambling to buy a new add-on when it comes out. I think it has to do with the fact that people quickly get bored with certain software add-ons, right? Hey, MAN, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Captain Black Box infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
Thank you much, MAN, gifting us up to Gaby. And Mad Cat just tested A380 in Microsoft 2024 in Heathrow. Performance looks okay for Heathrow, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I guess I have to try it as well. Well, Franz, I mean, it can get expensive. I mean, I'm not going to disclose what exactly I paid for the add-ons that, or the hardware add-ons that I shown on the video, but it's a lot of money, no doubt. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, so if you have like, you know, if your hobby is, you know, music, so you play a violin or piano or guitar, there is literally no limit to how much money you can spend on these instruments, right? So it's again about passion, about how often you will use that instrument, right? How much it gives back to you in form of satisfaction and happiness. There's people that love cars, right? They will buy a vintage car maybe, or a sports car, whatever, right? Cheaper than playing golf? I don't know. But cheaper than flying GA aircraft, I would say. Yeah. Ghost, yeah. Yeah, Winky. Hey, I mean, yeah, it depends. So obviously, the flight sim market, so the software market, I mean, is a very volatile arena, isn't it? I mean, you think you finally got everything you need, and then out comes a new scenery, out comes a new aircraft add-on, and you just get tempted to buy it, right? So I just look at my expenses, or you know, my behavior buying add-ons. I mean, obviously, I do have a different approach because I'm creating flight sim content, so I do want to be, you know, showcasing new sceneries and new aircraft add-ons, obviously. So there's a different motivation there, but I mean, still, all right. Yeah, what happens if you like flight simming, music, golf, and cars, and then well, then you've got a problem. Then you have a real problem. Hello. So you got a question? There's a way to get the extra fuel like Airbus on the fuel prediction. No, not really. Yeah, so in essence, yeah, you have to work that out yourself, right? I never thought about that in the way. So Airbus gives you, at least regarding your alternate, I mean, you do have an alternate page, so you can, you know, you can work out certain things like times and fuel. So you can even put in an airport yourself, right? So if let's say I want to go return to Houston, right? I'm not sure how accurate that is, to be honest. Well, we would have tailwind, wouldn't we, going back? Yeah, so you do get some options, right, where it does work. It does give you some time and fuel remaining, so estimate time to arrive at fuel. However, the thing is that Boeing probably says, again, it's up to the pilots to work out how much extra they have, right? So I don't think that's a wrong approach, because in the end, you know, having these things in the MCDU or FMS is fancy, but in the end, these are just bits and bytes, right? So call me old-fashioned, but for me, the paper is still master. So I'd rather look at these values that I have on my OFP, and then, you know, knowing that if all fails and I have to divert, the lowest amount of fuel I'm allowed to have at the missed approach point at the destination is 6.3 tons to reach my alternate with final reserve fuel, i.e. 30 minutes remaining. is that value. Do I want to go that low? No. I'd hate to fly to an alternate airport and then reach it with 30 minutes final reserve fuel. All right, that's a very tight spot to be in. So, but that's just how the calculation goes legally, okay? So these are the legal minimum requirements. Now, as a pilot, you will decide differently on how much extra you want to take on, depending on your experience, etc., etc. But in the end, so if I see this, for example, and I know that I do have a realistic routing, the wind data is up to date, then, you know, I can trust this this value. Then I know that I have currently 3.7 tons more than legally required. So my extra is 3.7 tons. And then you take the average fuel flow. So let's say the flight plan gives me about 6.3 tons. So the extra fuel gives me about 35 to 40 minutes extra. So that's the way you would do that in the Boeing. And honestly, I did it the same way in Airbus. Even though it has some fancier estimates in the FMS, I still didn't trust that 100%. I would still take my OFP and work out my extra there. Yeah, I agree. That's a cool feature. I would love to see that more in different aircraft add-ons. What does your family say about your hobby? You're a real pilot, and in a few time you also fly virtually. Well, I mean, honestly, so I do live stream 2 to 3 times a week. Now, outside of that, I do make some videos from time to time. I try out some new add-ons before I fly them. But I don't spend that much time outside of my streaming and content creation in the flight sims. So it's not as much as you would think, right? Now, hobby-wise, it's like with any hobby. Previously, I played golf, and honestly, I had less time available for my family when I was playing golf than I have available now with the flight sim hobby. So it's all a balance, really. Hey, Mr. Mango, sir, thank you much for the 15 months. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Abud, anytime. Yeah, if you have questions, happy to answer them. Winky, I don't know yet. I don't know yet how much time I'll be spending. You doing good, Mango? Fantastic. I am careful not to make promises. So probably there will be a kind of a difference between wintertime and summertime. Because I do assume in summertime I'll be traveling a bit more. And I'll be outside a bit more compared to wintertime, where things are more limited. So it depends. But again, I'm not making any promises, but I'll be here for sure. I'll be streaming for sure, and continue to make content. Just not sure how. Yeah, organ, right? So yeah, Winky, right? That's kind of normal behavior as well, right? Now for this send, it's planning with 835 unless it has a different restriction, but that's fine. I'm going to leave that in as 835. So the wind data is in as well. Although what we could do, let's update the wind data. Let's see if there's anything new. And I'm seeing no ATC in Mexico. which is fine. Oh yeah, that's true. Summertime goes so fast. And here in let's load that. In Germany, northern Germany, it's like half, isn't it? So it's a long winter period, really. No, Ghost, I don't. Right, let's load the descent wind. So who's flying the Transavia? Oh, Gilend. Oh, sorry, Gilend, you are. Lol, okay. I didn't even know. Yeah, there you go. Gilend. Did I miss you saying that you're flying along, Gilend? It's always the beginning of the stream is always very busy, so I do tend to miss some messages. Oh, you didn't tell? Okay, there we go. Whew. I'm off the hook then. All right, guys, we got the top of descent coming up. We just updated the latest wind data, so that top of descent should be good. We are planning on a flap 30 landing. It does not make sense to go with a flap 25 because we're going to be high energy, higher true airspeed, higher ground speed, steeper approach angle, 3.1 degrees. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to do a flap 25 landing, right? So flap 30 it is. We're flying the ILS 5 right Zulu, and that puts the minimum at 7,570. Now let's have a look if we can dial that in a bit quicker. So I don't have the click, I can just pull to the right, which is nice. Yeah, Ghost, go ahead. I'm not a legend. You know, there is bold pilots and there's old pilots, but there ain't no old bold pilots, right? You know the saying. That's a nice feature here with the so 7570. There we go. Okay, so we're flying the approach as published. Energy management is key here, and then be aggressive on the descent. Correct quickly. So if you get slightly high, I expect our ground speed to be around about 160 knots. So not too bad, but still. Slightly steeper, so we're going to have to aim for 800 to 900 feet per minute descent anyway to stay on that profile. So if you get high, you probably have to correct with like 1200 feet per minute, which is the maximum you should do. Otherwise, you might get those sink rate callouts. Shortcut. Let's have a look. Let's take that out. Ooh. Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, I think in real life they will do that as well. Hey, J-Snap.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class?
So we go 753 and then
Drinks,
Almis.
snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be served.
And then
thank you.
Bookton. Thank you much, J-Snap, for the 95 months. Good God. J-Snap, you'll be happy to hear that I've installed the Felis. I am practicing with the 747-200 again. So I really hope you guys are going to get your sim ready for the World Tour later this year. So how much did that save on time? A little bit, yeah. About 4 minutes, yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, good idea, MAN, yeah. Like that. Good idea. Yeah, also that shortcut will take us between those mountains. So those mountain peaks here. So that should be fine, yeah. So we've got this, and then just make sure that it's 14,000 at Almis. So I have to re-enter that to 14,000 at. And the rest is still in. Fantastic. Cool. Organ, there's some good videos, some good tutorial videos on YouTube. Oh yeah, let's do the performance calculations before I forget. So performance tool, let's go landing en route, runway 5 right. And we've got a landing weight of 82 tons roundabout. Air conditioning on, anti-ice off, flap 30. We'll take reverser credit, importing the weather, and let's calculate that. So with order break 3, it says 2,300 meters, and we have 3,500 available. Now, let's have a look with order break 2. It's 2,500. So just to avoid hot brakes, $2,500, which, hang on, arrival airport. Yep, arrival pinned airport. Let's do that again. Parking gates and airport info. There we go. All right. So 5 right. We can take Echo, Foxtrot, or Bravo. Probably Bravo at the end there. To the left, and then we go back to Terminal 1 here. Yeah, you know, I'll take order break 2. So we've already breached the approach. So the Zulu ILS and the missed approach goes climb on track 55 degrees to Mike X-ray 949. Then it's 950, max 185 knots, okay. Then Mike X-ray 740 and Mike X-ray 951, and then IPRIM 12,500 to 210 knots. So the only thing really, let's see, can I put that in? Probably not. Yeah, you always have to enter an altitude with that. So I've just got to remember that, 185 knots. So we have high terrain, obviously. Highest is to the southeast. So the threats definitely is high terrain, although the weather is pretty good today. And high true airspeed, high ground speed. Sink rate could be an issue. Hard landing could be an issue. Yeah, let's go descend down to initially 18,000. Okay, I mean, nice. 10 to Bravo. Yeah, but that's the path. So MAN, this is this path. So honestly, I think that's the earliest you could expect some directs. I think that's what it says, and then. Wasn't that what you said? Because that would really kind of okay. Mike's okay. All right, then I misunderstood. Okay, so then let's do the following. I'm going to go 753, then 755, and then we'll go direct to Almas. Okay, that's fine then. We'll do that. And the restriction was 230, 18,000. 230, 18,000. And there we go. Idle VNAV path. Down we go. No, all good. So, so the lowest is like 14,000 then to Almas, yeah. I mean, if you look at the contour layers, so white area is 9,000, so that would be 10,000 save, and that's a first color gradient, so that's 11,000. That's 12,000 actually save. And since this is high terrain, I would assume that would give us 2,000 feet terrain clearance. Amakan says the Aeromexico uses Terminal 2. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, really? Is that new? I didn't know that existed. And okay, guys. So I'll be taxing to Terminal 2. But then the question is that simulated in the add-on FlyMX? Ghost, okay, so what do you want to see? What do you need to see on here? Okay, so Terminal 2 is simulated on FlyMX. Cool, thank you much. Then we will use that for sure. Star, ILS, and ground. Of course, there we go. Hang on. And the ground. There you go. Okay, I hope that helps. Cool. Right, here we go. So, how are we looking descent-wise? Now, let me just increase the speed a bit, because we've got people following. So let's sure we do 3 knots indicated. So, 270 above. So this should do a level off in a second. TV Revenger, you landed in Helsinki. Lovely sunset. Nice, that's good, TV. Happy to hear that you enjoyed your flight. So we got speed VNAV path. And again, it's going to try to maintain 27,000 here. Not go below that. Yeah, I think there's a fix, Clemens, on flightsim.to. So there we go. Now it's going to level off until the next waypoint. I don't know why. Yeah, why it kind of. Well, I mean, I did increase the speed, so that was a bit unfortunate from my side. But we'll see how the rest goes. I'm going to put the lights on here. Seatbelts go on. Let's prepare for the landing. Okay, so let's read the big descent items. Flaps 30, auto brake 2. Let's do a recall check. Let's check the notes. No notes in there. And then we're ready for the descent checklist. Recall checked, notes checked, auto brake 2. Landing data, VREF 129, minimum bar row 7570 feet. Approach briefing completed. Descent checklist complete. So there's an aircraft about 9 or 8 miles behind me. Okay, cool. And I've got 300 knots, guys. 300. That's all she got, Jim. Well, actually, no. I could go faster, but... And Jalenda's doing a DLS 5 left. You do realize that the runways are very close together, right? So I'm pretty sure that you really can't do parallel approaches on there, right? Just saying, okay? There isn't much separation, okay? So that's 30 miles. Yeah, that should work out. Cool. Wow, it's clear skies. So the airport should be somewhere in here, no? Yeah, I think that's the airport there. So that is the Popopat. Was it Popokat? No, hang on. How do you pronounce that? It's the Popocatépetl. Popocatépetl. Why do they make names so difficult to pronounce? And there we go. Idle VNAV speed. Oh, really? So Aeromeca has a nice 78900. Nice, yeah. So, in case you... I'm going to post the link to you, Clemens. I'm not sure if you're still here, or anybody else that's interested in getting a fix for the no hand. So there's a oh, but that's only for 2020, guys. Okay, so at the moment that's only for 2020, not 2024. Be careful. Just saying. Hey, Michelle. Do you fly much? No. So at the moment, I also have I'm working part-time at the moment. And also, at the moment, the company that I work for is still waiting for lots of aircraft. So currently we have... oh, that's a new airport, isn't it? Looks like a new airport. Yeah, we're still missing some aircraft, and then... that's why we don't really work too much. Do you know where the cargo apron... Anybody know where the cargo apron is on in Mexico? Let me have a look. So... I mean, this looks like... it could be here. Customs... I would bet here the 40s, 41 until 46 or something. That'd be my guess. But I could be wrong. So we have to be 18,000 at... for the normal RAM, I think... tough question. It could be enough. It could be enough. Let me just check the performance right now. So I am using... let's have a look. So GPU memory, I'm using 11.5. And normal memory, I'm using 25.8. So 32 could be enough. Right, let's get altimeters and let's do the approach checklist. Approach checklist, altimeters 3026. Approach checklist complete. Right, so now we go 14,000. Idle enough speed. And then... so now we're shortcutting to Almis. 14,000 is the lowest we can go at the moment. I'm going to keep up speed until I'm at 14,000. Right, there we go, around the corner. Yeah, I'm trying to keep some space, MAN. All good. So let's have a look here. Lex page. Almis 210. So let's go select here. I'm going to go 230 initially. 1,000 feet per minute. Let's get some speed brakes out, shall we? And I hope we get some autogen houses and so on. At the moment, not much has loaded in. Alright, 210 knots, clean speed. Speed brakes back in. 255 limit for flaps 1. Cabin is ready, fantastic. Hey, nice to snap. Thanks for answering. So, 747 cockpit should arrive May 22nd. Oh, that's soon. So you'll have all the instruments from it already here and tons of... Yeah, but I mean, I admire you guys knowing that the project... I mean, I don't know how you guys are going to connect everything to the PC and then, you know, get it working. That to me is like... That is wizardry. That is like, like I honestly don't know how you guys do it. So I'm going to put the final approach altitude now, 8,900. And then I'm going to go with VNAV, but also open speed windows. So flaps 1. And again, energy management, right? I'm going to get some drag out to help us now with the descent. So just as a reference, have a look at the indicated airspeed, 207, and we got true airspeed of 258. So that's 55 knots faster than the indicated, the true airspeed. So what we're really doing compared to the still air. Flaps 5, speed checked. Flaps 5. Okay, so, I mean, honestly, yeah, wiring, I can imagine what the wiring manuals look like. So, again, I honestly, it would blow my mind. So you see what I mean with the aircraft not really want to slow down? So going to help with speed brakes again. So flaps 15. Flaps 15. $10,000 pages. Wow. Yeah, just wow. I mean... So what is a shame is that it's hardly loading in any... Oh, now there's some buildings coming, because I was just going to say there is some higher... Oh, there we go. There is some higher buildings in the approach path here. All right, so we got 160 knots. So right now it looks like we're not bad on the profile. Got the lights on. I've got to put these on already. What a huge city, right? Madness. Absolutely incredible. So this will definitely be exciting, guys. I'm going to start concentrating on the approach. What's happened to my camera? Otherwise, you guys get vertigo from watching the stream. I'm going to put the gear down now. Those gear doors. Flaps 20. We have the ILS identified, India, Mike. Whiskey X-ray, 5 right. Flaps 25. So look at that, we're still doing 180 knots true airspeed. So that's always a huge challenge here in Mexico. There's the airport. The energy management. Always incredible. Right. Cool. So I think I'm a good spot right now, altitude-wise. We have a localized indication. Glide slope still missing, so let me go lock first. Oops.
2500.
It's checked. So we've lock armed. Here comes the turn to final. Localizer should come in any moment as well. So someone is really close behind me there. Lol. Right, glide slope is here as well. So I'm going to press the approach button now. So we have lock glide slope armed. Here comes final flap setting 30. Let's arm the speed brakes. No. Speed brakes armed. So lock. Landing checklist complete. Alrighty. Let's get auto thrust. Let's get a feel for the aircraft. Manual flight. So I'm going to start capturing the the glide slope. Trimming the aircraft. So we got 134. Final approach speed set. And again, 3.1 degree glide slope. Ground speed is 160, 163. True airspeed. Right, there you go. So let's capture the glide slope. Come on. And there we go, 14,000 now for the missed approach. Set. 5 knots headwind. Looks like 2 red, 2 white. Let's make sure we don't drop too far below, otherwise I have to pull back on the yoke too much. The aircraft is nicely trimmed for the final approach speed, so that should help. And again, nice and aggressive on the controls. Not over controlling, but don't be too late with the corrections. Otherwise, you're going to have 1,000 checked. Everything's finished. So now I'm doing 1,100 feet per minute. Let's correct that again. There we go. The wind has just increased a bit. 10 knots, 11 knots. A bit of a downdraft here.
Minimums.
Interesting. Careful, sync right.
Minimums.
Continue. Yeah, correcting. Well, I got 1 red. Sorry, 1 white, 3 red. So for once, actually, we have matching glide slope and
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Come on. Yes. Speed brakes up, reverse as normal, lowering the nose gear gently.
Mexico traffic, American 6.
Oh yeah, I've totally forgot.
Final for the island 05 right.
I had to call in. I was so concentrated on the approach. No, it's not floaty, Avenger. No, it's me. I continuously pulled back on the stick. I'm in a brake. So that's why it may look floaty, but I wouldn't say it's floaty. Not what we had in P3D. Mexico traffic, Aeromexico 7, correction, 812, vacated 5 right in Mexico. So I had a really hefty kind of downdraft. Yeah, Voyage, I know. Like I said, I was so concentrating so much on the approach. So, has Schlind landed already?
So, traffic Trasavia 1 for Tango, vacated 05.
Oh, he has. Where is he? He was like literally parallel landing here. Tis. James, dankeschön. Yeah, I'm happy with the landing.
Mexico traffic, American 693, 3 mile final, 05 right.
Ah, there's MAN. Okay, watch his landing. Is it really, Jen? You had the poor visibility in 2020. Okay. Right, there he is. I can see him now on the screen. And then behind him is already some other traffic, it seems like. Let's have a look here. Scenery is not looking bad. Now that we have some houses loaded in, looks all right. Just in time for MAN landing here. Nice. Yeah, look good. But you also had to brake quite hefty, right? To get the sync rates. Right, and right behind. This should be Ghost. Yeah, it looks like a pollution layer, right? Low level there. Interesting. Oh, really? So, like, you don't like the livery? So the American livery there? Okay.
And American 693, runway 05 right, vacated.
And another 777 coming in. Beautiful. And it's Lufthansa Cargo. GG's. Looked like a good landing. Well done. So the older one was a bare metal version. Yeah, I can imagine that looked quite nice, yeah. So let's taxi to the gate and then we'll have some more items to do. I'm going to go make sure terrain is off. Let's make sure traffic.
Mexico traffic, American 693 crossing runway 05 left.
Take us off there. So now we're on Echo. Gonna taxi down Echo until we get to Terminal 2. Oh, someone else is landing. Ooh, that looks high.
05 left, located.
Oh no, it's probably an elevation issue then. Lol, okay. Initially that looked a bit high, but it corrected. GG's. Night it. Yeah, good landing. Yeah, that has to do with the synchronization here on VATSIM. It could be. I wouldn't be surprised if that person was flying on an X-plane. No worries, Voyager. Dankeschön fürs Zuschauen. Take care. See you soon. Maybe on Friday. Right, auto brake. Let's start the APU. Strobe lights are off. Let's have a look at the landing gear. Temperatures are doing all right. Doing all right. Well, no, so like yeah, a lot of people are joining me from time to time on my streams, on my flights. So I'm always happy when someone's flying along. No, Fredo, this should be Flymex Aeromexico. Oh, by the way, so here's the cargo terminal, at least from Aeromexico. But it could be that the normal cargo is on the other side. Just saying. I don't know what's over there. Yeah, someone was saying that Aeromexico parks at Terminal 2 here. So I'm not even sure how well that is modeled on the Flymex scenery. So let's go Alpha 4 to the left. So I'm going to take the next one left. And then we'll just have a look what we can take. Oh, someone else is landing. Hang on. Hey, nice. Hang on, let me just stop here. Let me just watch the landing. Where am I? Oh, there we are. Ooh, looks like a wow, that 717. Nice landing. Looks good. My opinion regarding 2024, it has, I can definitely say that 2024 now is running better for me. Today was wonderful. So we had no sound issues. Performance, even though it's a huge city with lots of autogen, was nice and smooth. No complaints from my side on that. But, you know, 3 days ago, I had a bad experience going to Vienna. So we did Heathrow to Vienna on a German live stream, and that was a pain in parts. Big sound cuts and so on. So let's have a look. Parking. So this is south parking. No. So what are these? I'll take one of those here. I don't know if these are heavy gates or not. Let me try 59 here. Okay, let's go 59. APU is running. Yeah, Ghost, right? It's always a challenge. So, I mean, they have 757. They can park here. So I'm just going to go a bit further and then... And let's see, let's park here. Oh, we can go a bit further, actually. It's always so misleading. So when you look at the terminal, you're like, oh, I'm so close to the terminal, right? Let's stop. But truth is, the main, the nose gear is still so far out. Still not there yet. It's a long aircraft, right? But this will do. Okay, cool. So shut down items. Now I have to look at my manual again. So the shutdown. So hydraulic panel shutdown goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it has to be in that order according to the flight crew operating manual. Fuel pumps, beacon, seatbelts. Then transponder, flight directors. That looks good. So shutdown checklist, parking brake is set. Shutdown checklist completed. So welcome to Mexico. Enjoyable flight. And again, nice and steady. No issues. Love it. Excellent. Ghost, yeah, we saw you landing, yeah. We did see you landing, yeah. And it even showed a 777 Lufthansa cargo, yeah. So, to all of you, thank you so much for flying along. MAN, Ghost, Gilend, thank you so much. I'm not sure if I missed someone because there was another one. This one in 7. I didn't even know what aircraft he or she was flying IRL on their system. It looked like a Boeing 717. Thank you so much, Ghost. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's not a brilliantly accurate airport add-on, but still, it'll do. I don't think it was that expensive, so that's fine. Man, I was here so many times on the 747. I remember it well. Cool. So once again, thank you so much for flying along. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. And I'll be back in about 15 minutes. We're going to be in X-Plane 12 flying the TOLIS 320neo from Chicago, O'Hare, down to Newark, which has an interesting approach. So that's why I want to do that. A nice, either the bridge visual or the RNF approach. We'll see what we can do. Thank you so much, everyone. See you in a few minutes. Or otherwise on Friday, if you like.